Hi guys, this is Julian from Amstermind, and in this video I'd like to talk about self-love. What is it exactly? Why would you want to love yourself? And how do you cultivate more self-love? Self-love is a concept that I've only been starting to understand a little bit more in the past year. Because before, when people were talking about self-love, I was always like, you have to love yourself. What does that even mean? Because love was always a concept to me, a feeling for other people. You love your family, you love your friends, you love your partner. But loving yourself? How do you do that? Is that natural? Isn't that narcissistic? Well, no, it's not. But self-love is about accepting yourself completely, for 100%. And accepting yourself without any conditions. Self-love has to be unconditional. That means whatever you think is wrong with you, it's okay, you can still love yourself. So, why do we have a problem with self-love in our society? Because I think wherever you look, you see people having problems with self-love, people not loving themselves. I think this is the number one thing that is wrong with our society. If you would have to name one thing, I think it's because people don't love themselves. And only because I've been really grasping this concept lately, been meditating on it, been thinking about it, been talking about it with other people constantly, have I been noticing this everywhere I go. I see people in a different light because I'm looking at, do these people love themselves? Are they doing this because they love themselves, or are they doing this because of fear of what other people think of them? So why do we have this problem that we don't love ourselves? I think it is because of our upbringing. It's because of the way we've been raised. It's because of our schooling system. And I'm not judging this. I'm not judging our parents. I'm not judging my parents. I love my parents very, very dearly. But the way we've been raised, you and I, most of us, is with conditional love. And that means that when you were bad as a little kid, your parents, they punished you in some way. And that is like withdrawing love. That just gives you a feeling that you are not loved when you're being punished. And when you did something that was good, you were praised. So this is a way we've been conditioned. We've been conditioned that love is something that can be taken away. And it's not our parents' fault, and it's not anyone else's fault, because our parents have been raised the same way, our society is just set up like this. But it doesn't have to be this way. Because we can start loving ourselves. At school, when you would repeat whatever was in that book you had to read, and you could repeat it really well, you would get a good grade. And everyone was happy. Everyone was loving you when you were having good grades. But when your grades weren't so good, when you couldn't repeat what was said in that book, then you know the answer. It wasn't so good. You didn't feel loved. This is conditioning us. It sounds really simple, right? These things happening to us, but we've been conditioned like this for our whole life. Our whole society is based on the fact that we don't love ourselves. Our consumer society, where we have to buy all this new stuff. Why do we feel the need to constantly buy this new stuff? Well, oftentimes it's because we're looking for something external to validate us, to give us happiness, to give us love. If we just buy that new thing, we can finally feel happy. But you know the answer to that, that's not the answer to love, to feeling love. Why do we do the things we do? Do we do the things we do out of love for ourselves? Or do we do the things we do because of fear of what others may think of us? Are you holding yourself back because you fear what others think of you? What will people think if you did this? What would people think? What does it matter what people think? And that's the whole thing. If you love yourself, you shouldn't care so much anymore what other people think of you. So it's all about making a shift. It's about making a shift from fear to love. And it sounds really cheesy, I know. But it's actually true, in my experience. It's basically, are you doing things in your life because you fear what others may think of you? You have a fear of not being enough? Or are you doing the things in your life because you love yourself? Because you want the best for yourself, no matter what? And that doesn't mean you should now start doing things that hurt others, because that's also not a way to love yourself. But doing things because they're good for you, and of course the rest of the world, your neighbors, but always start with yourself, because you are the only one you've got. If you don't love yourself, why should somebody else love you? So a lot of the times, I think people start relationships. They search for love outside of themselves. They want the perfect partner. They want somebody to love them. But do you think that's a good place if you don't love yourself, that you're searching love from somebody else? And what are you doing when you get that love from that somebody? You're actually trying to fill up a hole inside of you because you can't feel love for yourself. It all starts from the inside, from feeling love for you. And it doesn't matter what other people think of you. Love shouldn't be something that is only found outside of you. Because, what do we do? What do? We go on Facebook and we post selfies of ourselves. We go on Instagram, we post all kinds of things about our lives, how happy we are to get some more likes. To finally get that feeling, if I just get those likes, I might just feel good about myself. I might just feel enough. Feel like I am enough. But it doesn't last, does it? Because if you still don't feel love for yourself, you keep in this rat race. You keep searching love outside of yourself. Keep searching validation from others. Constantly. But it's not serving us, right? It's not serving us. It's not serving you, it's not serving me to do this. And I'm guilty of this. Of course, I still seek validation from outside of me. It's a process, starting to love yourself. It's recognizing when you're not loving yourself, recognizing when you're basing your actions out of fear, when your motivation is fear. Fear of not being enough. That's the number one fear, I think. The number one fear of people is feeling like you're not enough. But you are enough, and you are the only one. You are the only one who can say that you are enough. That's the mind trick here. That's something we have to realize, that you are the only one who can give yourself the authority to feel love. You are the only one who can say that you are enough. Because when other people say it, it's external. And you want to feel loved. So you have to start from the inside. You have to start with yourself. I'm really passionate about this because I think it can really change so much in the world if we start loving ourselves. And one thing we should stop doing is judging ourselves. Judging and blaming ourselves for the things that happen in our lives. Judging ourselves for our appearance. Judging ourselves for our actions. It doesn't help. Of course, sometimes you do stupid things, right? You say just a stupid thing and you're beating yourself up. You do something stupid and you're beating yourself up about it. But is that helping you when you're beating yourself up? What are you doing then? You're actually hating on yourself. You're not loving yourself. Because, let me tell you a secret. Everything you do is always based on that level of consciousness that you have right then. Whatever you do, even if you do something stupid and like a split second later you think, ah man, I shouldn't have done that. Still, at that moment, something in you decided that that was the best thing to do in that moment. So you can never judge that. You can't. This is also why you can't judge other people, why you can't blame other people. And we want to do this really bad, right? I know there's a lot of people going right now hearing this like, of course you should blame others, it's their fault, blah, blah, blah. But everyone is just basing their actions based on their consciousness on that level. Whatever it is, you're programming something in you, whatever you did, it's because that was the right action at that moment. And because you thought that was the right action. Something in you decided to do that. But you can't blame that. Right? So, this is a simple mindset shift about your actions and why you can blame yourself. And also, if there's something physically wrong with you, right? You don't like your nose, you don't like your ass, or whatever it is. You have crooked teeth. You have a pimple somewhere. It's not your fault. It's not. You can't help it. Just love yourself without any condition. Don't focus on that one thing that you hate about yourself. You can't change that. And if you can, still love yourself first. And from that place, change it. Don't change it from a negative point. That's not gonna help. You always have to love yourself first. So, I think the message here is accept yourself and stop doing things out of fear and do things out of love from now on. So, I want to just clarify one last thing here, is that if you totally accept yourself the way you are, if you love yourself, that doesn't mean that you can't change yourself, right? Doesn't mean you can't improve. But you stop doing it out of fear. Stop doing it out of fear from what others think of you. You stop doing it out of fear of what your neighbors think, what your parents might think, what the people around you might think. You stop doing it out of fear of not being enough. You are enough. Just for the fact that you are enough. You were born, you're a human being. You have the right to exist, just like anyone else. Everybody else. We're all just walking around on this planet and we don't know anything what we're doing. We don't know, we're born and this was it, right? And we had to make the best of it and this is what we can do. That's me, that's you, that's everyone. Nobody's better than you and nobody's worse than you. We're all the same. We're all just got here and we don't know what the hell this is. It's amazing. It's an amazing experience. But it's really, really sad if you have to go through this experience hating yourself. If you have to go through this experience constantly living in fear. Doing things out of fear. Not allowing yourself to be the real you because you have fear of what others may think of you. You have a fear of not being enough. But you are enough. We all are. So stop giving yourself a hard time. I think this is the first thing you can do. This is something you can actually notice when you're doing this. When you're giving yourself a hard time, when you're giving yourself negative energy, you bring yourself down into a low vibration. And start lifting yourself up. Have compassion for yourself. If you did something wrong, just say to yourself, it's okay. The next time I'll try to do it better. And if you fail again the next time, you can still say, it's okay. The next time I'll try to do it better. Whatever you did at that moment, something in you decided that that was the best course of action at that moment. So I hope you realize this, and I hope it will start your self-love journey, or how corny it may sound. Because for me it has, and I'm constantly thinking about this, and it's constantly popping up when I'm having negative self-chatter and just blaming myself for something. I notice it and I stop it. And I think this is the first step to really starting to love yourself and changing your life, because this is the single most important thing you can ever do for yourself, is love yourself, feel love for yourself. I hope you liked this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to this channel if you want to see more videos like this. And if you have any questions about this or comments, put them in the comments below. I'll be happy to answer you personally. I'll see you in the next one. If you're alone and you constantly feel the need to just grab your phone while you're alone, because you can't just be 1 minute with yourself because maybe you don't feel so good. Maybe those feelings you've been repressing will come up, and you just need to do something, need to do some activity.